not ideal by any means. Can
No.
he actually secure a fourth base here? It's going to be tough. The third is on the way for Maker. I will say that Maker's third was a little bit later. I think he should have dropped it down right when he was moving out, but he did take some big hits on the Banelings. Overall, though, he has been cost-effective. The Widowmines are here. They could do lots of friendly fire, though. I think that's exactly what Vibe was trying to activate right there. Is not going to happen. Might lose another Queen, and I mean, at the end of the day, the Widowmines taking out the Banelings. You have to be so careful. And Vibe, I mean, simply put, he cannot afford to lose his base. Because he would be on 2 bases, and that is not acceptable in the
How's he going to stop it, though? I mean, he's moving in there. That's going to actually trigger a Widowmine to kill off a lot of those. That was a great timed attack there, but it wasn't quite enough, and this drone line's going to go down. Vibe is taking so much damage here. He's trying to get Baneling speed and +2 up. If he gets +2, he'll be in a great spot, because he's going to have +2 carapace against 0/0 Marines. These Lings just aren't going to die. But he's got to live that long, right? Maker now has a 3rd command center, and there are no Mutalisks, there's no chance of Spire. And I think Vibe just actually has to go all the way through to Ultras here. He has to just try somehow to live that long. Because you've usually got to supplement those Lings with something, right? Or maybe you get Infestors out. Maybe you do that. I mean, he's on 6 gas. Maybe he goes Infestor, but right now he's just trying to hold on.
The upgrade advantage is going to buy him the time he needs, at least for now. A drop over here will get locked down. Not killed off, but definitely preventing it from doing any sort of damage. Yep. And this is some must-defend type situation right now. Vibe does decide to throw down a Spire here. Is killing off yet another Marine. He's trying to just leave his Lings everywhere that he can. Banelings will be finishing up right now. Maker just now securing that 3rd base. So again, between his multitasking, he's not able to get that expansion up as soon as he would possibly like to. But still, with no Hentai, this is just so awkward to try and defend those drops.
Yeah, getting the Spire up's a good thing. Now he has Speed Banelings. If it's just Marine drops and not Marauders, then he should be able to take this out quite nicely. So things are looking all right for Vibe. Things are looking up, but he is still behind economically. He lost a lot of drones, and his opponent's 3rd is up now as well, and is now transferring workers to it. So he's going into a mid-game play. He is also going Burrow, so we're going to be seeing some Baneling landmines by the looks of it, which I'm looking forward to. The Spire play means that he's going to, for the mid-game play, Mutaling Baneling, right? So we're not seeing Infestors yet. We're seeing no sign of going to Hive or anything like that either. Big Scan comes down and sees the composition, which is really, really nice for Maker to get there. But now Maker has to deal with the fact he's going to be harassed, and he's going to be harassed a lot. There's going to be 10 Mutalisks popping out pretty soon, and then they're going to be able to get in there. The Widowmines primarily are at the front to defend the 3rd, and not at the rear to defend a Mutalisk backstab into the main.
I think Vibe right now actually needs to throw away some of these Lings. He's got to be supply blocked as soon as the Spire's done. Yep, there it is right there.
Well,
Can only
there's a
make
Ling
5. And
that's
he's got to try and do just that. And those SCVs, what are they doing? Completely bunched up there. And I'm surprised he actually made it in here. Maker may just be throwing away this lead. He's got a nice engagement over here on the left side. And that's just freeing up supply for more Mutalisks right now. He lost the Overlord there, so he's supply blocked again. But the Overlord's going to be finishing up just right now. He's got a lot of money to invest there. 14 Mutalisks on the way. And he actually is still at this natural. All of a sudden, Maker in a great spot and then fumbles a couple things. And if he does not deal with these mutas effectively, I mean, all of a sudden, Vibe is in this. There is a nice supply lead, though, for Maker.
Yeah, it's like, what does Maker do? Does he go to a base trade? Does he try and just deny the 3rd base, try and kill it? Because he's got the army to do that right now. He's also on 1-1, which means that things have evened up a little bit. Vibe still has an upgrade lead, though. It's 1-1 versus 2-2. It's not as bad as the 2-0 situation we were in earlier, but I don't know, even with a larger supply count, and with a larger army, he's still up against a lot of Banelings, and there's a lot of Marines in this composition. So these Banelings could easily destroy his opponent. And now with the Mutalisks there, he's going to be pulled all over the place.
Yeah, and of course, the Marines in a straight-on battle will just destroy these mutas, but the chance of Vibe giving him that opportunity is quite slim. The main base is completely undefended. He did not realize the Mutalisk tech switch was actually a viable option right now, and you can see he is going to sack his main. It just sends out his entire army. He's going to press his supply advantage by trying to pull those mutas away. And if Vibe holds us on,
the mines are down. This is going to be a huge explosion one way or the other. A lot of Banelings died there. Oh, it's huge! The mines maybe make him actually could make this happen now. The mines connected so well. Oh, Baneling landmine connect. Nicely done there by Vibe. Vibe's still in it right now, trying to hold on to this. If he kills this army, then Maker is out of it as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, Maker able to get some good control there right when he needed it, but it was a little bit after being able to save the majority of his army. So yes, he killed off one base. These Mutos, though, got to kill off almost every single SCV at this natural. That is absolutely huge. So I think that even though he's only on 2 bases right now, Vibe's going to stay toe-to-toe with the income, but this is going to be a dicey moment for both players here. The Medevac's running dangerously low on energy, but the army just has such high DPS inside the main base. The Mutalisk here going to kill off more and more SCVs, trying to kill that bunker. He does get it at the entrance. And the Mutalisk count, though, it's slowly dwindling. He can barely kill off these Marines here. There is enough now in the main base to defend the Mutas. Is there enough to defend Maker?
Oh, man, this is getting crazy right now. So there's a couple of Mutas still remaining. There's only 5. Like, if he gets a turret down here, he can throw that back. There's another 6 Mutalisks on the way. The 3rd base for Vibe went down. So Maker actually has a base advantage, which is never where you want to be as a Zerg player. He did lose a lot of SCVs, but he makes up for that in Mules, right? So that's okay. This force is going to be killed. Right? There's no question about that. It's way, way too low on health. So that was actually a lot of Maker's army that just died there. He is going to try and boost away, but I think he might still lose these. He has no means to stop those from being shot down, which is a pretty big deal here as well. 4th base now being taken by Vibe. And army supply-wise, you still have a lead for Maker. And, oh, he's going to try and catch him in a Hive transition here. He's trying to get up to Hive so he can get his Ultras on the way. But if this army gets together and is able to do damage and doesn't get hit by Banelings, of which there are 24 on the map here, Maker can still win this. This is a crazy game. Vibe is way down in supply now.
Maker definitely in a really good spot here because that 3rd base getting taken out, it is not reestablished. Maker just still has his natural and his 3rd. So unless these Banelings get some crazy connects, they're going to be his last-ditch effort here. So far, not what he needs. He's going to back this army into a corner. There's only a couple Banelings remaining, though. Here come the reinforcements. I don't think that's going to be enough, though, to kill this army.
Not quite.
And not a whole lot left, but those mines, Vibe has no way of dealing with this right now.
No, he doesn't. The mines are going to be off cooldown in a second as well here. So Vibe... actually, there should be enough Mutas to clean this. Oh, he just stimmed at the wrong time. He ate a mine. That's not so good. But those stimmers are actually reducing this down significantly. There's only 5 Marines in that comp. And, oh, nice use of the Overseer to trigger both mines. He can kill this now with Mutas. Vibe's still in this.
Yeah, he's got to be super careful of those mines. The one in the back is still ready to go. Another Overseer is going to be on the way. Banelings morphing in as well. He is behind in supply. That's going to be the major problem for him. And there's the reinforcements moving out across the map as Maker is looking to gear up to try and end this right now. The Widow Mines, do they do any splash damage? Not today. Not his lucky day at all as Maker. So far, I don't know where this control is coming out of, but it is what he needs, and he needs to keep doing it right now. Burrows Widow Mines a little bit aggressively. And he is going to be okay here. Scans there to take out the creep. And the 3rd base is mining for Vibe right now, but God, it's so tense right now. He's very, very low on supply, though.
Will he get the connection? It's pretty good, but I think the rest of the Banelings are going to get picked off here, and that's not good at all. Another Baneling crashes in. He is holding on. For dear life right now, he is holding on. If he can hold this 4th base, if he can make sure his natural doesn't die, maybe he can do this, but it's so close. And honestly, I think Maker has such a lead right now. It's going to be incredibly difficult to pull this off. Drones are off the line right now. Mutalisk now being brought into position to try and finish this off. And he's doing a good job of killing off the Marines, but there are a lot of Medevacs. They're keeping them alive right here.
And the reinforcements are here, and even if he kills this wave, look at the
reinforcements.
Widow Mines, lots of splash damage to both sides, but that's going to be favoring Maker right now.
Vibe's going out.
It does look like Vibe going to get taken out. So many reinforcements on the way, and there's just no way that
too
Vibe
much.
GG!
GG! And there it is. Maker manages to claw it back and show a stellar performance in Game 3 there against Vibe. And Vibe is now out of the tournament. That's the first player eliminated immediately. And Maker is able to make that work. And you can say all you want about the cheese in Game 1, but that game, in Game 2, but Game 3, he played brilliantly. He really did. He did exactly the right thing at exactly the right time.
And I think the nonstop aggression was really what kind of tied it all together, because it was a situation where the Mutalisk tech switch was ransacking his base. The main mineral line was destroyed. The natural lost the majority of the workers there. Just looking at the workers active, you can see kind of where it started to dip down. But he just, actually, I guess it didn't even dip down as much as I thought it did, as he left his main base completely undefended. And it's one of those things where you have to choose. Be aggressive and try and end it, or stay back and defend. And I think he did the right calculation in that, you know, Maker realized, hey, I have a larger army than my opponent, so if I'm putting on the aggression,
spend it.
Yeah, and those Mutas aren't going to be doing as much damage as Marine and Marauder. So a great choice there. Ended up paying off, obviously, and Maker was 1 game away from being eliminated and brings it back, and now he is 2 games away from being eliminated as he still has one more chance.
God, that's depressing, isn't it? Yeah, he earns the right to be eliminated again. But we will see. So Maker did a good job. He knocks out 1 Root player. Vibe is out of the tournament. Now he must go up against Minigun. Can Maker upset 2 of the strongest players on Root to qualify alongside Puck? That would be a big deal to a lot of people. I think that would be considered an upset by most.
I'm going to have to agree, especially after the first games. Maybe, though, he's just like one of those players who doesn't do well until he has to, until it's down to the very last game, because he is 2 games away from being able to advance. So, got to hand it to a man. He pulled it out when he needed it, and it has since... Yep. And, ooh, I don't even know what to expect of the next game. I still want to... I think Minigun has got this, but... I don't know. I feel like Maker, like on one hand, he played at a super low level, and then in this game, he played at like a very high level. So who knows what's going to happen?
It's a mystery, man. Maker, to me, is such an unknown quantity right now. And to be honest, Minigun is as really, really good in this matchup. There's no question about that. Is he good enough? Good question. Bear in mind, of course, that Minigun, this is a rematch. Minigun did take out Maker, like, completely obliterated him in the first 2 matches, and that's something you really need to consider. I think Maker's found his groove now, but I don't think that's going to be enough. If you look at the performance in the first set, how can you say that Maker is not the underdog, you know?
Yeah, I agree, and Minigun able to show us some really, really good games so far as well, so that's going to be coming up in just a moment.
All right, folks, we're going to be going into the last game of the evening. It will be for a qualification spot. Minigun and Maker in a rematch coming in right here. Will Maker be able to do better than he did in the first series? Because Minigun took him apart there. Let's see what he manages to pull off. We'll find out after this break, folks. You're watching SHOUTcraft America. Don't go anywhere. right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the final match of today's Group A Shoutcraft America, and I've got Maker and Minigun on the line today. Maker will be the faceless man today, since his camera is not working. We're not sure why, but of course we do have the wonderful visage of Chad Jones, Minigun here. So, Minigun, you were watching that last match. You watched your teammate get knocked out. How are you feeling going into this match?
Angry, man.
You pissed?
I'm gonna beat him again, 2-0. Yeah.
Ah, all right.
Can't knock out route like that.
No, I don't think that's really a reasonable thing to do, isn't it? You've got to avenge your teammate, but Maker, so you got beaten pretty convincingly by Minigun in the first series. So what are you planning on changing? Don't be specific, of course, but I'd like to know how you're not going to get destroyed this time around.
Yeah, well, I think I was pretty nervous on the first set against Minigun. I don't know why, but I was completely playing very bad.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm feeling very good now. So I'm not gonna change too many things because the way that I practice is what I'm gonna show. So I'm not gonna change that many things, but only a little few.
All right, so who knows whether or not he's telling the truth there, Chad? I'm sorry. I mean, you might see 6rax Proxy Reaper coming in very soon. Who knows? But I've got to say, we saw Maker convincingly take out Vibe in the third game, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, you can say what you want about Cheese. Cheese is a valid strategy and competitive play. Everybody knows that. But Game 3, you know, he looked scary. Like, he looked like the GM Maker that is consistently beating everybody on the ladder. So, are you really that confident against him going into this?
PVT is my best matchup, so if I don't win this one, then I don't know. Probably didn't deserve to pass.
It's always a good attitude to have. Of course, if you get through, that'll be 2 route through to the round of 8, having seen Puck go in fine style already. If you don't, then Maker will be joining Puck as one of the contestants in the round of 8. So, any final words, Minigun, for your opponent today?
Just good luck, have fun.
Excellent. And Maker?
Good luck, have fun as well.
Wonderful. All right, guys, to your stations. We'll be setting this up very, very shortly. So, Husky, you watched that first series. You watched it.
I did.
It was brutal, man. It wasn't even close. What does Maker have to do to change that?
Yeah, I want to say that, not to take anything away from Minigun, because God knows I love Minigun, but I feel like in the series that Maker played against Minigun, it was more Maker beating himself as opposed to Minigun doing anything spectacular. Now, Minigun did do some pretty cool stuff. I love the defensive style play of Protoss versus Terran. I think it is the strongest way to play versus Terran right now. But I think that if he can get a cool grasp on his nerves, if he can calm down a little bit, cool his jets and all that, then I think he's actually going to be able to give Minigun a run for his money. Based on what I've seen, I still think Minigun has this, but if Maker plays like we saw towards the end of last game and plays it throughout the entire series, I think it definitely could go either way with a slight edge to Minigun right now.
We'll see. I certainly think Maker can take a game, but he's going to have to show a way different style. I don't think that Hellbat drop is the way to go. I think maybe he should consider Widowmine, which obviously is a more common thing, but then you've got to bear in mind, of course, that he'd be playing a style that's very familiar to Minigun. So trying to maybe throw a wrench in the works, or a spanner, as we like to call it, into the works might work. Apparently, Mike, you're offline on StarCraft 2, so you might want to get in the game.
Oh, that is weird.
It's probably bugged out. Like, we've seen this in HOTS, actually, quite a bit. The lobby's most likely bugged. So if you can rejoin, that would be absolutely wonderful.
I'm doing it, man. I didn't log out, I swear, but I'm logging back in right now.
Good to know, good to know. All right, you'll be there with us certainly momentarily. But
there we go.
I think this is an uphill battle for Maker. I think he's got a lot to prove here. I think he proved himself in that final map against Vibe. It's like, all right, I can take on the best in this tournament. I can do that happen. I can make that happen, and I can do it without cheesing. So, but now what does he do against Minigun, who's like super solid in this matchup?
Yeah, I think Minigun just has a good grasp on PVT. He's saying that it's his best matchup. He's feeling great about it. I think in one of the interviews they were saying that last season he finished with a 70% win rate versus Terran, which is something that it just feels good not only to have a really strong matchup, but to also know that in the first elimination round, you're getting that matchup twice against someone you just beat. So
Yeah.
Minigun, as long as he doesn't get overconfident, he does have reason to be confident. And
Yes.
I'm curious to see if Maker can just calm down a little bit. I think that that's really what it's going to come down to. We can't be seeing any big mistakes. We can't be having Minigun rallying his workers that aren't mining. We can't be seeing Maker lowering depots at the wrong time. They have to play perfect here. Whoever makes the least amount of mistakes will definitely advance.
Very, very true indeed. We're just waiting for you, Mike. You are the delay for this tournament this time.
What did I do now?
Ah, there you are. You're in there. Excellent.
Yes.
Cool.
I finally got to load there. I'm sorry for ruining everything, TB.
You're terrible at this, man.
I know.
Why you do still have a job? You want to explain it to me?
I don't know why you invited me to this. I guess the other casters were just all ill. That's the only reason I can come up with.
Yeah, absolutely. That was exactly what was happening. I know that Day 9 is suffering from a serious case of being bad at Magic the Gathering-itis. So
that's true.
That's a bit of a problem there. In Control has actually got serious mental issues. He now believes he is his character from roleplay. So it's a bit difficult to kind of bring him out of his shell to cast. He tries to cleave everyone with a battle axe nearby, which really doesn't work out so well.
It would be a fun cast. It's just someone
definitely
would end up dead. So I don't know if that's good for the scene or not. Probably not. But I just want to say, while they're getting everything set up in this game, is that one time I bought a bunch of Magic cards to do a friendly draft tournament with my roommates and good friend Day 9. And he cheated so many times so that he wouldn't lose to me. And it was like the most friendly draft ever. And homie cheated like in 8 different ways. And I'm like, Sean, I know you want to win this friendly tournament, but we all just got to calm down a little bit. And then he still beat me 2-1. But I'm telling you, man, he is tryhard mode at Magic.
That doesn't surprise me in any way. All right, folks, we are in. It's going to be Star Station. That will be the first map of this final series here at SHOUTcraft America. And here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Star Station and to Root Minigun. He is in the red trunks and he is playing Protoss to the northeast of Star Station versus his opponent, who just took out one of his teammates and is looking to make it 2 in the blue trunks, playing Terran to the southeast. It is KLG's Maker.
All right, they do have that vertical spawn once again. I think we've seen that every single time on this map so far. There is going to be diagonal spawn capabilities for this map. Those ones are not blocked, but right now it is going to be vertical spawns, which again makes expanding to that center right expansion between the 2/3 basically impossible. Probably not going to see that taken whatsoever. Instead, the expansions will be working their way outwards if it even makes it that far. And one thing about this matchup is that there's early aggression that both players can do, and there's mid-game timings that both players can do, and there's more late game for Protoss than there is for Terran. But we could see this game go to any phase just because there's lots of possibilities on builds right now.
There's no question about that. So I think that in this kind of situation, what I'd like to see from Maker is just standard play, because I think his gimmicky stuff didn't work at all. Like, Minigun just shut it down horribly. It was horrible to watch, actually. So I think he's got to play macro. Maybe you get a little bit aggressive here and there, but don't overdo it. And that's what Maker did in the first couple of games. He's like losing dropships full of Hellbats and all sorts of nasty things. You can't do that.
Definitely can't do the 2 racks again. I would be very surprised to see that. I think the drops would have been a little bit better if they were just microed correctly and the decision-making was better. But even then, Minigun has shown us, look, I get the early Mothership Core for Photon Overcharge. I don't aggressively expand. We saw some pretty conservative expansion timings there to make sure he has enough units to actually defend all those locations. So that kind of play, again, is going to be tough to pull off. And really, what does that leave you as Terran? Well, you can try and force it into the late game, but it's very difficult to micro versus a big Tier 3 Protoss. So I don't know. I still think multi-prong drops in the mid-game, which is standard, is going to be what it takes. He just needs to micro it a lot better, to be honest.
Yeah, I think you're probably right there. So we're going to see a Reaper opening here. Not that uncommon in this matchup. It seems weird when you think about it. It's like, oh, but a Stalker will kill it. Yes, but it doesn't really matter. It's not for doing damage. It's for trying to find out what your opponent's doing and to be a constant annoyance. Yes, Stalkers will kill it, but pretty slowly. As this is not an armored unit. This is a light unit. They don't get the bonus damage against it. And it just in general, it can dip in and out and it can regen its health. So he's going to get some good information here. A Zealot comes out early on. This is an interesting decision here by Minigun to actually build that early Zealot, I feel. He's going to build Sentry now as well, actually. This is not great against Reaper at all.
Yeah, going against Reaper is super annoying. Keep in mind the Reaper does not do additional damage versus light units, but the Sentry, it just moves so slow and it has such a short range that it's still not the best option. But for now, he is at 1 kill. If the Reaper gets 2 kills, that definitely makes it worth it. 1 kill and scouting is worth it as well. Might be able to kill off that probe if he swings around the other side. Sentry, though, says, no, get the hell out of this base. We do have a command center, 2 more racks on the way, and this, TB, you're saying, should play standard. This is the standard Terran build. Expand off of 1 racks. Get 2 more racks, kind of size up your opponent, and then take it from there.
Yeah, it's ridiculously standard in the sense of the Terran build right now generally involves the reactor early on, and it involves just pumping out a lot of Marines, and then you use the gas for the Reaper, so instead of like going for an earlier stim, you get that reactor down, and you just overpower the defense with a bunch of Marines, so you don't really have to worry too much about being hit anytime soon, and then you take the stim a little bit later. Which works fine. That's totally fine. And this Reaper is continuing to be annoying. The Mothership Core and the Sentry could kill it easily, but that's a case of, you've got to catch him. It's like if he forces a force field out of this Sentry, for instance, that's probably a win in and of itself. So this is annoying. It's getting a lot of information, and without a Stalker on the field, it's going to be very difficult to actually kill that.
And the reason I love the Reaper opening on this map is there is so much space for that Reaper to just jump in